please? Thank you. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for being here, and thank you for having me share. I'm nervous, and my palms are totally damp. But I have friends here who I've known for a long time, and I've asked my higher power to try to give me some direction this morning. So it's not necessarily Brooke sharing so much as just trying to stay out of the way. I wanted to welcome the newcomers. If this is your first meeting or second meeting, just keep coming back. There are a lot of great meetings in LA, and if you don't hear what you need or want to hear this morning, maybe there will be another meeting, but please keep coming back because this program is pretty extraordinary, and just by sitting in your chair, you might be getting a lot of information that can sneak up on you and get in under your skin that you don't even notice. So I wanted to say welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is an Alanon meeting with adult children of alcoholic vibes going on underneath. And I identify as both. I came to this meeting 2 weeks ago with my father and my husband and my father's new girlfriend, and we sat in the back row and we got to listen. And it was great to see my father feeling just as at home in this meeting as I do. The topic that I'm going to talk about today is the laundry list. When I didn't really understand what adult children of alcoholics was about until someone read the laundry list to me, and it took my breath away because I felt like you guys knew all my secrets. Just for anybody who hasn't heard the laundry list, I'm just going to read the first part. These are the 14 traits of an adult child of an alcoholic. 1, we became isolated and afraid of people and authority figures. 2, we became approval seekers and lost our identity in the process. 3, we are frightened by angry people and any personal criticism. 4, we either became alcoholics, marry them, or both, or find another compulsive personality, such as a workaholic, to fulfill our sick abandonment needs. 5, we live life from the viewpoint of victims, and we are attracted by that weakness in our love and friendship relationships. 6, we have an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, and it is easier for us to be concerned with others rather than ourselves. This enables us to not look too closely at our own faults, etc. 7, we get gut feelings when we stand up for guilt feelings. We get guilt feelings when we stand up for ourselves instead of giving in to others. 8, we became addicted to excitement. 9, we confuse love and pity and tend to love people we can pity and rescue. We have stuffed our feelings from our traumatic childhoods and have lost the ability to feel or express our feelings because it hurts so much. 11, we judge ourselves harshly and have a very low sense of self-esteem. 12, we are dependent personalities who are terrified of abandonment and will do anything to hold on to a relationship in order not to experience painful abandonment feelings, which we receive from living with sick people who are never there emotionally for us. 13, alcoholism. So good. Alcoholism is a family disease, and we became para-alcoholics and took on the characteristics of that disease, even though we did not pick up the drink. And 14, this is the last one, guys. Para-alcoholics are reactors rather than actors. So when my friend read that to me, it took my breath away. I immediately thought, oh, great, another program. But then he read to me the flip side. And if you haven't read the flip side before, I would just say, read it, because there's freedom when you come to these rooms and you learn from people who have gone through this stuff. And someone, bless you, someone said, This is a program of osmosis. You get it just by putting your seat in the chair. Again, I just recommend keep coming back. So my qualifiers, so I come from a long line of alcoholics. My great-great-great-grandparents, my grandfather and my grandmother both died of alcoholism, and so my parents grew up as these para-alcoholics. And so I didn't think I necessarily qualified because there wasn't a lot of drinking in my home. There was a lot of binge ice cream eating, and there was a lot of binge spiritual seeking, which resulted in a lot of neglect and a lot of workaholism. So my parents were the paras, and so when I read this, I realized that I get to qualify here for this program, and I get to get a seat, and I get to really relate, because I was really, looking at this thing, I didn't know that I was allowed to have feelings. It wasn't safe for me to have feelings. I thought that I needed to be really strong, and I needed to be the parent in the household, and so I stuffed my feelings, and this traumatic childhood, really, I didn't feel like I had the ability to truly share, and so then in my adulthood, I learned how to manage and control a lot of stuff, and there's this other laundry list too. I just want to read this one part. We dominate others and abandon them before they can abandon us, or we avoid relationships with dependent people altogether. To avoid being hurt, we isolate and disassociate and thereby abandon ourselves. And so I tended to, in my work life, dominate others. That made me feel a little bit safer. And in my home life, now that I'm married, I felt, at least in my marriage, before my husband got into Alcoholics Anonymous, we didn't really share emotions. We just were like roommates. And then, is that 8 minutes? Oh, wow, okay, cool. So now with some sobriety and some program, we now are able to truly share emotions, and I can have emotions at home, and now I can actually be vulnerable at work, and that comes through working the steps. I've been in Alanon for 1.5 years now, so I feel really new, and that's probably why I'm so nervous. I don't know if I'm allowed to share. What do I know? But I do know that there is solution, and I'm in my 5th step, and I'm getting to look at the relationships that I have with I feel like my relationship with my mom and my father, it's my mom's stuff that really gets me, and that's the stuff I'm really working on deeply in this program, and learning how to have good boundaries, and learning how to not be afraid to say, that doesn't feel right, or just to say, no, thank you. I never could say that to my mom before. And in this program, and with the help of other people in this program, I've been able to learn, run stuff by people and say, my mom did this thing that feels like a huge, I don't even know what the word is, she did something really bad to me. Is this really bad, or is this just my mind telling me it's bad? And to have other people in the program say, oh no, that's bad. That was bad. And you can say no to that. And that is wow, what an amazing thing to have other people to run stuff by, because I do automatically want to like blow things up and burn houses down and shiv people if they do bad things to me. And this program shows me how I can have love and compassion and love my mother even when she does bad things, but I don't have to like bring her in. I can just say, ouch, thank you, and no thank you. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share. All right, my name's Dill Brooke. So I wanted to tell you about some really cool things that I know how to do now because of you guys. I know how to take lunch breaks. This is a big deal, guys. I know how to tell my boss, I need to think about that. This is some ninja stuff I'm sharing. I don't know. I recently was in a very intense situation with a boss, and he asked me to do like 50 impossible things. And the first thought was, I'm going to cry. The second thought was, I'm going to kick out all the glass in his office. And I said, I'm going to need to step out for a second. And I left his office and I sat down at my little cubicle and breathed. These are, to me, examples of how this program really works. For me, this is like total transformation. And this comes out of learning how to have boundaries and asking for help. I'm just using work examples because this is where I was the worst. I also, when facing the 50 impossible things, asked for help from people that were around me. And I tell people when I'm scared at work. It's a miracle, and I just have all of you to thank for that. And I feel like when I knew I had 2 or 3 more minutes, I was like, oh my God, I got to tell you all these amazing things, because it really, the only thing I knew how to do was overwork myself, not eat, say yes to everything, be a doormat, and just basically do whatever anybody else wanted me to do. So I just wanted to share that. Change is possible, freedom is possible. Okay, so now, can I stop there?